Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/thebarn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thebarn.
Hello, my name is Jason Lowry.
And I'm Mark Toti.
And this is the Parkland Podcast.
It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. They got plenty to say. They got plenty of heart. On the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast. It's the Parkland Podcast. Yeah, the Parkland Podcast with Jason and Mark. Jason and Mark.
Do your Donald Trump dance impersonation. He's really getting into the dancing lately, hadn't he?
Well, you know what? Anything to get a vote.
Absolutely. Kissing babies, dancing, whatever it takes. We have episode 20 ready for you. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be joined by Mineral Area College Athletic Director Jim Gerwitz.
Jimmy!
And North County Superintendent of Schools, Brandon Gregory. Plus, we'll have a wrap-up of Week 8 of the high school football season and the MAAA Conference Volleyball Tournament. Our Parkland Sports Live Game of the Week featured the Festus Tigers and Farmington Knights. We'll have a recap from that. Plenty of events. There are trunk or treats happening all over the place. We'll tell you about a bunch of those and some cool, spooky events. Dip into news and have our cool music picks all coming up on episode 20 of the Parkland Podcast. Want to thank our sponsors, Parkland Pharmacy, Discover Farmington, Save a Lot of the Parkland, Subway of the Parkland, Heimberger Construction, Dan Ward, your senior Medicare advisor, and Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. Mark Toti, what'd you do this week?
Had a great week. It was Dine Out Thursday for the United Way at Pasta House in Farmington. And listen, if somebody has to eat pasta for a good cause, it might as well be me. But this is something, if you go to Pasta House, try their pork chops.
Okay.
The pork chops are amazing there. In fact, I have one at home I still have yet to eat. So that was great. And then I went to a retirement dinner for Miss Paula, who retired after 20 years at the Farmington Senior Center. Congratulations to her. And then a big fundraiser for cystic fibrosis on Saturday. I'm a guy that doesn't drink beer, but it was a pub crawl.
Oh, boy.
So I went everywhere and drank water.
That's
It was the life of the party. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Welcome to the potty, pal. Name that movie.
I'm drawing a blank.
Die Hard, baby.
Oh, my gosh.
Bruce Willis. Welcome to the potty, pal.
Oh, man, I can hear it in my head now. Busy week, as always. My son Jonas toured Valley Catholic High School, and he got his 8th grade hoodie, which is like a big deal. He goes, I feel like an 8th grader now.
All right. Way to go, Jonas.
Yeah, way to go, Jonas. Busy week at school. We actually had to teach all 5 days this past week. Whoa, my gosh. And then parent-teacher conferences are coming up this week. In the Farmington School District, but
I dreaded
a couple
those.
days off. Yeah? Why? How did those go in the Toti house?
Well, for my brothers Tom, Dave, and Mike, they were a piece of cake. For me, let's just say my mom had to take a lot of Xanax before the... she oh, boy.
Well, we had ones for our kids this past week at St. Joe's, and Kayla couldn't make it. She had theater commitments, busy times with the Farmington Theater. And so I had to go solo. So I took notes. And then after each parent-teacher conference was wrapping, I was like, okay, let me go over my notes with you and make sure I wrote everything down correctly. But it worked out really good. I think I made a good grade on that.
Nice.
Music trivia. You are a master of music trivia. What do you got for us this
Two
week?
little things. One's not so big, but the other one I thought was really interesting. Leonard Skinner. Do you know how they got their name?
Their gym teacher?
Their gym teacher in Florida.
Yeah?
They're Florida.
What a name.
But yeah, Leonard Skinner. Hello, Mr. Skinner.
Yeah.
But the other one that I found really, truly interesting, when Van Halen was going through one of their many lead singer changes,
Yes.
David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar.
And David Sharon.
David Sharon, one of the names they considered, they approached, and they almost worked it out. And would this have changed the face of rock and roll history? Ozzy Osbourne.
No way.
Ozzy Osbourne and Van Halen, the Van Halen brothers, met and talked about him joining the band for an album and a tour. And they had it pretty much all worked out. But then Mrs. Osbourne got involved. Sharon, and they went on to do a reality show, and he went on to go solo, and I guess it worked out well for both of them.
Huh. Wow.
But what a change that would have been.
Oh, my gosh. I would have loved to have heard, what would they call it? Ozzy Halen or?
Van Osborne.
Van Osborne. Anyways, bark at the moon for that one. How about a Toti-ly awesome radio story?
Well, we're running thin on these because
only so many awesome things can happen.
Only so many stupid things in my 40 years of radio career, but it was Country Days about 25 years ago. Sammy Hagar was not Sammy Hagar.
Oh.
See, I got that. I've got.
Boy, that would have been awesome. Remember that?
Yeah, I rocked
Doug
that one.
McDermott was this close to signing Sammy Hagar to play Country Days.
No, Sammy Kershaw.
Okay.
Sammy Kershaw. And Sammy was a little bit cantankerous. So when I got up to go on the stage to introduce him, first and foremost, I took the Country Days queen at the time back to meet him. And I said, she had told me right before we went to meet him, when I was a kid, I wanted to marry Sammy Kershaw. And I said, well, you're going to love meeting him. So I said, Sammy, this is so-and-so, and she's our Country Days queen, and she really wanted to meet you because she wanted to marry you when you were younger. And he went, okay, fine, good. And he kind of pushed her out of the way like that. And I'm
Wow.
like, okay, that was my first hint. He's going to be difficult. And then the second one was when I got on stage to introduce him, he goes, hey, you're going to come up here, turn to the right, turn to the left, make your introductions, come back, turn to the right, and get off the stage. I said, okay. So I got up there, and I thought I did everything right. But as I'm leaving the stage, he says, hey, you! I said, do it this way. And
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And I saw the chief of police, and he told me he had a similar run-in with him that same day. And I said, I really wanted to punch the guy, but I didn't want to be known as the MC that canceled the Country Days concert. And Rick Baker goes, well, I wanted to throw him in jail, but I didn't want to be known as the police chief who got the Country Days concert canceled. So yeah, it's not a funny one, but it is kind of funny. But
Not everybody's as cool as Dolly Parton.
no, not everybody is. And Aaron Tippin was probably the coolest guy.
Yeah?
Along with Charlie Daniels.
Of course, yes.
That I met during Country Days.
Huh.
I loved Aaron Tippin.
Yeah, that was great. And anybody, I know Tracy Bird.
I've introduced him. That's easy for me to say. Introduced him twice, and actually, he was at the St. Francis County Fair this past year, and we got to talking, and he remembered being at Country Days, and he kind of sort of remembered me introducing him because he liked my introduction.
Hey,
so
A1 in our book then.
Yeah. So he was a really awesome guy. Louise Mandrell, I remember quite a bit because she wore a really short black skirt, and let's just say my tennis shoes kind of melted when I saw her.
If we ever get Ryan McClain, I guess he goes by Matt McClain now.
Yes.
On the show, he picked up Mindy McCready from the airport at Potosi, and she did a wardrobe change in the back of the J98 van. So we might have to get that on as J98-ly awesome.
Only if we
radio
can have
story.
video of it.
Yeah, I don't think that exists anymore.
I do remember the time Billy Ray Cyrus came to town and put on a show, and he and I sat on the front of the Civic Center on the little sidewalk there.
Yeah.
And live on the radio, we sang Some Gave All.
Wow.
That was pretty cool,
I
too.
bet. Did he
Yeah.
introduce you to his baby daughter, Miley?
She was not there at the time.
Yeah.
And then I remember, gosh, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Blake Shelton came to Farmington for Country Days. And this would actually have been a better story than Sammy Kershaw. But, you know, Blake was like 6'8".
Yeah, big guy.
And he was in there and he was playing basketball. And I said, "Hey, Blake," I said, "I'm Mark Toti. I'm going to be introducing you on stage tonight. Is there anything you want me to say special?" And he goes, "Well, just don't tell everybody how bad I suck at basketball."
A modest man.
I said, "You got it, buddy. You got it." So, he was another good one I got to introduce.
Man, very cool. You were worried this was going to flop, and I think this is a great, totally awesome radio story. Good job.
Thank you, Sammy Kershaw, for being a jerk. I would have never thought of all those other memories.
And those are some great, totally awesome radio stories. Want to talk about our newest sponsor on the Parkland podcast? That is Dan Ward. He is your senior healthcare service advisor for all of your insurance needs. Mark, you're kind of getting familiar with the Medicare system, and what Dan does is he helps you navigate. That can be a pretty tough process.
There are lots of different plans, lots of different options out there, and there's one that's just right for you, one that's best for you. That's what Dan can do. He can help you find that plan that best fits your needs. And there are a lot of changes when it comes to Medicare that are going into effect, and you definitely want somebody who knows what they're doing to guide you through that.
And some of these plans even have zero premiums, and veterans can qualify for a reduction in their Part B premiums. Dan also represents several major insurance companies in our area, and he is your Medicare advisor.
And he's also somebody you can trust. Dan spent a lot of years in the Missouri legislature. He worked with county government. He knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of things. He's somebody you can trust.
Well, all you have to do is give him a call and set up an appointment if you have any questions. 573-330-6000. That's 573-330-6000. Dan Ward, your senior healthcare services specialist. Save-A-Lots of the Parkland. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And in addition to saving you money on your grocery bill, which we all need right now, they got a really cool promotion that they just started.
It's on their Facebook page. They are introducing Save-A-Lot rewards. Download the new app to earn dots and save lots at participating locations. And there are all kinds of reasons to go to the Save-A-Lot Facebook page. I am on it right now, as a matter of fact. They invite you to stop by, check it out, and save on every day that ends in Y.
Oh, wow. I think that's every day.
That is every day. Shop the dot with Save-A-Lot.
I love going to Save-A-Lot and checking out all the unique grocery items they have there. And the 5 for $24.99. Been trying to mix it up a little bit, but I always come back to the popcorn chicken and the chicken fries. I think my kids could eat that any day of the week that ends in Y. But I always am able to save money at my local Save-A-Lot store. And you can too. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And they sponsor the Parkland podcast.
Thank you.
The Department of Mental Health for the state of Missouri is seeking an advanced practice nurse to fill a position on their East-Southeast Regional Forensics mobile team. This position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, at a salary of $130,000 annually, and tremendous benefits. This opening will not last long. To apply for the advanced practice nurse position or any other with the Department of Mental Health, please call 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees. Time for News Now. News is brought to you by Heimberger Construction. Heimberger Construction has been building buildings in the Parkland for many, many years. You can see their work all over the area, and they work with Butler Buildings to make sure that they install these buildings correctly. Heimberger Construction sponsoring our news right now on the Parkland Podcast. The impeachment hearings for Deloge Mayor Pete Pasternak will take a break this month as they are absent from the Board of Aldermen meeting agenda for Monday night. Deloge City Clerk Judy Hutchinson emailed this statement to the Parkland Podcast. While I don't presume to speak on behalf of the board, it is my understanding the board previously adopted a resolution with accompanying articles of impeachment and scheduled a hearing. The mayor sought a temporary stay to such hearing on a procedural issue that has since been resolved. Additional information was gathered during that delay, and even more recently, a special counsel is amending the articles of impeachment. In addition, due to the absence of key personnel, it is my understanding that it was determined that this was not an appropriate meeting to set dates for this process. It is my further understanding that that will be an issue for the board meeting in November. Items on Monday night's Deloge agenda include an ordinance amending fire chief duties and an action item about the position itself. The November board meeting is also on the agenda to move to a different date. Deloge Board of Aldermen meeting is 7 p.m. Monday night at City Hall.
The Uplift Shelter in Farmington by the Senior Center is going to be opening back up on October 28th. Entry time will be 5 to 10 p.m. The exit time, 8 a.m. the following morning. They also are looking for groups and organizations to provide meals to the shelter. If you can help out with that, you can contact Deborah Carter at 573-431-5191, extension 1421.
The 6th Annual Regional Veterans Parade returns to Farmington on Saturday, November the 2nd. The Grand Marshals for this year's parade will be Korean War veterans, and the theme is May We Never Forget and Forever Honor Our Veterans. And Mark, we'll dig a little deeper into this parade in a future episode of the Parkland Podcast.
Yes, it's sponsored by Gentiva. They've done this since the get-go. Election Day is right around the corner. No excuse voting begins this week. And I know that one of the big propositions on the ballot, one of the big amendments, is getting some support from current St. Francis County Sheriff Dan Bullock.
That's right. In fact, he has a letter to the editor, which we'll read for you now. The St. Francis County Sheriff Dan Bullock offering this letter regarding Amendment 6. As Sheriff of St. Francis County, I strongly support Amendment 6, which reinstates the 53 court fee for guilty pleas in criminal cases. This fee has been a key funding source for the Missouri Sheriff's retirement system since 1983, providing financial security for many sheriffs who have no other retirement options. This is not a fee that burdens taxpayers. It is a user fee that only applies to those found guilty in court. Currently, the system supports 200 retirees and survivors, with 114 active sheriffs contributing a portion of their salaries. Without this fee, the retirement fund will go bankrupt in 9 years, leaving our sheriffs without support. Importantly, this fee is only collected from those found guilty, and judges can waive it if those people are in a hardship. Amendment 6 ensures court systems remain fair without burdening local taxpayers. Sheriff Dan Bullock urging voters to support this amendment to protect the future of the sheriffs and their families. And again, that is a letter to the editor from St. Francis County Sheriff Dan Bullock. And that's a check of your news brought to you by Heimberger Construction. Visit heimbergerconstruction.com to see those beautiful buildings and find out more what they can build for you. I don't know if you can tell it in this week's episode of the Parkland Podcast. Those of you watching on YouTube have noticed that I'm in a hoodie and Mark is shivering the whole time. It's cold in the barn, but when the cold fall season hits, that means it's time for warm soups and chilies at your local Subway.
Oh, yeah, they had potato soup this past week, chicken broccoli, cheddar broccoli, I should say, before that. They have great pizza at Subway. I went with the classic turkey and ham sub sandwich this past week when I went in there to see Heather and Jessica and Brianna and Courtney, 4 more lovely girls you would only hope to be able to meet. So Mike and Jake, you guys did great when you hired them. I love their customer service. They are awesome to deal with. You will leave there with a great sandwich, a great bowl of soup, a good pizza, and you just feel better about yourself.
Absolutely. Subways of the Parkland eat fresh. They're located in Farmington in the Maple Valley Center.
Love my Subway girls.
Downtown Park Hills, an historic downtown. And, of course, in Deloge at the Walmart Super Center. Subway, eat fresh.
Love my Subway girls.
Parkland Pharmacy, local pharmacy at its finest. Cool T-shirts and swag and basketballs and warmies and skinny syrups, and very, very needed at this time because we are getting ready to roll into cold and flu season.
They are right in the midst of handing out flu shots, and they've got the COVID updates that they can provide you as well. And coming up in November for you Medicare folks, you've got Judy Boring that can help you find the right plan for you. They are all about local at Parkland Pharmacy. Whichever location you decide to go to, you will love the customer service, you will love the people, and you will love the products.
And you will love how much better you feel thanks to everything available at Parkland Pharmacy. Again, they're in Deloge, they're in Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville. ParklandRx.com. Parkland Pharmacy, fine sponsor of the Parkland Podcast. Let's check the events page now. That's presented by Discover Farmington. More than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.gov allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. And they provide a lot of content for the events page here, too, on the Parkland Podcast.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Dine Out for the United Way of St. Francis County is Thursday this week at Domino's Pizza in Farmington, Park Hills, and Bonne Terre.
Fall family hay rides continue every Thursday night this month in Engler Park.
There's a blood drive coming up on the 22nd at the Lincoln Street Event Center in Deloge, and one on the 24th at Parkland Chapel Church.
All right, let's talk some trunk or treats. How about Deloge City Park, October 23rd from 5 to 7 p.m.?
Ghouls Night Out, also known as Girls Night Out for the United Way of St. Francis County, is coming up Thursday at 5. Twin Oaks, all ladies are invited.
On that same day, October 24th, Mineral Area College's community trunk or treat happens in the MAC parking lot from 5 until 7 p.m.
There's also a trunk or treat at Sam Sism Ford, October 25th, starting at 4.
The SEMO Family Violence Council has a trivia night Friday, October 25th at the St. Paul Elementary Gymnasium.
Freaky Town, downtown Fredericktown, October 26th at 4:30.
There'll be a trunk or treat with a bunch of local sponsors at Engler Park, October 26th. That starts at 5 o'clock.
And a stall or treat Halloween party at the Stables on Old Fredericktown Road, starting at 6 on the 26th.
The most spectacular TV theme song concert event ever in the history of the world/universe is Saturday, October 26th, 7 o'clock at the Centene Center. Tickets still remain.
The Farmington Family Dental. Got to give a shout out to Dr. Perry. They are doing something special for veterans on Friday, November 8th. If you are a veteran, call them. They will do a free dental service for you. They do a great job at Farmington Family Dental.
Boy, that's great. And then just call the phone number and make an appointment, right?
Yeah, just call them at 756-5760. As they have availabilities, they will schedule you in.
That's great. Again, Farmington Family Dental does a great job. What a nice thing to do for veterans.
As a veteran, I appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely. And one more event to talk about, a Discover Farmington event, Voices of the Past, Downtown Cemetery Tour, Historic Cemetery Tour in downtown Farmington, October 26th. You're going to be a part of that, I believe?
Yes, I am. In fact, William Dubert Doobie Long, who's how you can refer to me as.
Okay, Doobie.
Yeah, Doobie, why?
So check that out. Really cool event happening October 26th. These events and more, you can find out more about them through discoverfarmingtonmo.gov. All kinds of great activities, all kinds of great ways to find out about things to do around the Parkland, courtesy of Discover Farmington. Heimberger Construction, heimbergerconstruction.com. Since 1978, they've been putting together fantastic buildings around the Parkland. You can see them, and they have a secret weapon when it comes to their buildings, and a fine organization that helps there.
Well, one of their secret weapons is Jennifer herself.
Right, yes.
She is awesome and amazing, but they also specialize in Butler buildings. They are the best metal building systems on the market, the only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. And I am sure if you travel around the area, you're going to see a Heimberger-built building.
Mocap in Park Hills and Farmington, Griffin Automotive in Bonne Terre, Legacy Products in Bonne Terre, Paramount Glass, the expansion in Park Hills, Crown Valley Winery, just to name a few. Their website's beautiful, heimbergerconstruction.com. Give Jenny a call today, 431-4387.
Good people to work with.
Let's do birthdays and anniversaries. This week, they're brought to you by Parkland Pharmacy, small town pharmacy at its finest. Get your flu shot, get your COVID booster, whatever you need to get ready for the winter season. They got you covered at Parkland Pharmacy, located in Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Greenville, Piedmont, and Ironton. Before we roll into the birthday daily ones, I got a belated one for Garrett LeBrier back on October 14th. Happy birthday, Garrett. That's Mike Reeves' son-in-law.
Nice.
So he gets a lot of broadcasting stories. How about Monday, October 21st? What do you have for us, Mark Toti?
Just one birthday for Monday. It's a gal I worked with and have kept up with a little bit over the years. Sybil Cooper Rohan is actually her name. She's from Fredericktown, and Sybil, I worked with her back in the late 90s, and she was a big fan of the TV show Friends at the time, and I was too, so we'd sit around and tell Friends stories, and she was my go-to girl for radio commercials when we'd have to come up with something clever, like for Little Caesars ads and others. She was the gal I always teamed up with. Sybil, hope you're doing well. Happy birthday to you, young lady.
Ask her how she's doing in a Joey voice.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, there it is. Kayla Bodkin celebrating a birthday on Monday. Bodkin Lawn Care. Happy birthday to Kayla. She loved the election coverage and always is a good liker and subscriber to the Parkland Podcast on the Facebook page. Robin Winter with a birthday as well on Monday. Happy birthday, Robin. Hope it's a great day for you. How about Tuesday, October 22nd?
Just one on Tuesday, but boy, there are plenty coming up. Tuesday, Bobby Wooten celebrates a birthday. I refer to him as Bobby Rootin' Tootin' Wooten.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good golfer. Got a little baby girl. She's about 14, 15 now. But I've known Bobby since the old days when we used to lift weights over at Better Bodies, if you remember.
Yeah.
Better Bodies, you know.
You had a better body back then.
No, I really did. They'd say, hey, but people did talk about Bobby and me in the same sentence a lot. They said, hey, there's Mark Toti working out. He's no Bobby Wooten. It's my only joke. That's what I got. Bobby, happy birthday to you.
How about Wednesday, October 23rd?
Wednesday, my buddy Donnie Eaton celebrating a birthday. He spent close to 30 years in the Farmington School District. He worked their finances. So you didn't get paid till he said you got paid, basically.
That's a guy to suck up to.
Yeah, he's a good man. He loves his soccer. Happy birthday going out to you. Jesse Folk, happy birthday to you. I saw him. He's got 4 boys, and they're all big dudes.
Right.
I mean, like 6'2", 6'3", 210. I saw him going into Kojak's one time, and he's buying breakfast for the family, and I looked at him, and I said, Jesse, you probably don't get out of places like this too cheap, do you? And he goes, I don't get out of anywhere too cheap. Happy birthday to you, man. Hope you're doing good. And a couple of people I know you have on your list. He was just a guest on our podcast, Brandon Hubbard and Stacy Wilfong, 2 awesomely awesome people.
Stacy's wish comes from her mom, Vicky, and of course, her and Twofer have lived in the same house as long as I can remember, right behind, it was North County High School for the majority of the time I was there, but now the middle school. And Vicky's always been a big viewer of the streams and got all kinds of grandkids, and she wanted to make sure that Stacy got a birthday wish.
Now, didn't Stacy win like the shot put? Or
Yeah, shot and disc. She went to Arkansas to do that. And she's coached like track, oh my gosh, for many, many, many years, all volunteer. So, just sharing her knowledge.
She still work at the
young
college?
throwers.
Nursing department?
She is somewhere.
Allied Health?
Oh, gosh, now you're putting my brain to the test.
I know she was at the Allied Health Department over at MAC.
I want to say she's at Jeffco now.
She could be.
Yeah, okay.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, Stacy.
We'll
Although
give you
your
an
mom
update.
did verify your age with me. I had you younger, so congratulations. Diamond Dan Simile of Leadwood fame with a birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Dan. Hope it's a great day for you, my friend. And Megan Garrett celebrating a birthday on Wednesday as well. Happy birthday to Megan. Thursday, October 24th.
Thursday, we are loaded with birthdays. Happy birthday to Kathy Cramp. Kathy is married to David Cramp.
Miss Peanuts.
Yes, Mrs. Peanuts. Yeah,
Yes.
happy birthday to you,
Not
Kathy.
Mr. Peanuts.
I used to see her all the time walking at the Civic Center back in the day. Happy birthday to you, Kathy. Betty Combs celebrates a birthday today. Married to Dan, the pizza/cookie man of Little Caesars
Cookie
fame.
Man.
Betty, seriously. She will get to the Civic Center and get on one of the elliptical machines. I will come in. I will work out. I will run over, get a cup of coffee, get a donut, eat it, pop in, record the podcast, and then go back to the Civic Center. She's still there working out. She is a workout machine. So happy birthday to you, Betty, and I hope you have a great, great day. Janine Seymour celebrating a birthday today. I worked with Scott Seymour, her husband, at the radio station for several years. He and I went to Chicago to watch a Cubs game. That'll be another totally
I bet
awesome.
I bet that was a great experience.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, happy
Janine
birthday.
worked at the mental health center for a bunch of years, and she always helped me with our interviews with the mental health center. So happy birthday to you, Janine. Hope you're enjoying retirement. Happy birthday to Katie Meadows. Katie, happy birthday to you. That's to Little Bird from your dad. Steve, a faithful listener, Steve Warren, faithful listener and viewer of the podcast. Steve, hope you and Ursula are doing fantastic. Thank you to both of you for your donations to the United Way of St. Francis County. And Katie, happy birthday wishes to you. James Halsey celebrating a birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday to you from your mom and dad and your brother. Now, her mom works at the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. They live in the Deloge area, one of the, 5,000 Halseys that live in Deloge.
You probably need to be specific which James Halsey, too, because I think there's literally 8 of them.
Well, James is only like 4.
Oh, okay, so the 4-year-old James Halsey.
Yes.
Little Jimmy.
That's awesome. I hope you have a great day with sharks. He loves sharks.
Okay.
He's a big fan of sharks. So happy birthday to you from the Shark family.
Yeah. I just have one birthday on Thursday, October 24th, and that is former student, Central High School graduate, Unitech graduate, Eli Yunt. Happy birthday, Mr. Yunt. Hope you're having an awesome time, buddy. How about Friday, October 25th?
Friday, we're loaded as well. Not literally.
Well,
But-
it depends on who you ask.
It's cold as we record this.
Yeah.
Maybe getting loaded would help. But anyway, my neighbor, Bob Satterthwaite, celebrates a birthday today. For years, he ran the Sears store that was open in Farmington. And he and I always got along because I made sure I pronounced his name correctly. And
Yeah.
he told me he really appreciated that because with a name like Satterthwaite, you get a lot of pronunciations. And I said, well, my name is Toti, so I understand about
Yeah.
getting a lot of pronunciations. So anyway, Bob, happy birthday to you, neighbor. Hope you're doing great. Tiffany Zert celebrating a birthday today. She stands out to me because A, she's an awesome gal, but B, back when her son was in kindergarten or first grade, he won an award. And I went over to Washington Franklin School and I interviewed him. And her mom and dad were there. His mom and dad were there watching, and her and I have always gotten along ever since then. So, Tiffany, happy birthday to you. Hope you're doing great. Jim Yates celebrating a birthday on Friday. He is the father of Laura McLean, a recent podcast guest. Jim, happy birthday wishes going out to you. Pat Collier, Pride and Joy of St. Paul Lutheran Church, happy birthday wishes to you. Happy birthday to Brian Nider, also a member of St. Paul Lutheran Church. We hope you have a great day. Our good buddy, Mike Hinkabine.
Yes.
Trouble from the get-go.
Oh, my God. We need to have him on the podcast. He would be amazing.
Not until we get the little beeper switch. That would be the only caveat there.
Well, nothing live.
Yeah, he'd be great just to have it and
Mike's
talk.
awesome.
He does great work with the St. Francis County Fair. And somebody I know we both love to death, Mandy Herzog.
Absolutely.
Celebrating a birthday as well. She is, I've known her since she was just out of high school. She came to work at the radio station, and I just think she's fabulous. I can't believe what an awesome gal she's become.
Yeah, and done great with Odell's. I mean, that's
And the Deloge Chamber as a whole.
Absolutely. She does great work over there. Happy birthday to Rachel Gerstenslager. Hope you have a great birthday on Friday. I was in swing choir with Rachel her senior year. Brandy Lee with a birthday on Friday as well. Happy birthday, Brandy,
Lee's
from your
coming on
husband
strong.
and your awesome boys who seem to be really good at everything. Misty Sheets with a birthday on Friday as well. Misty, a Central graduate. Shorty is her dad, Shorty Bates, if you know him. And then Charlie Henderson, who was the head custodian at the Unitech Career Center.
We have a guest.
Yeah. Is it? You want to tell us about some birthdays from your litter? Maybe. Anyway,
This podcast is literally the cat's meow now.
Hey, yeah. But Charlie Henderson, happy birthday to you. He's been retired for, oh no. We're going to spell out some birthdays for us now. Don't copy and paste. Charlie, happy birthday to you. I hope you like cats. Saturday, don't knock that over. Saturday, October 26th. Who do you have birthdays for?
Okay, Anna Hattridge. Happy birthday wishes going out to you, Anna. I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm sure this cat's going to jump on my lap here at some point in time. Happy birthday to Anna Hattridge. She worked at Mineral Area College for a bunch of years. That's when I first got to know her. Now she's an award-winning real estate agent. The cat has left the building.
Okay.
Happy birthday wishes to you, Anna, and Christy Scott, a teacher at Farmington.
Yeah, our
Farmington
librarian.
School District.
Man, she
is
does a great job.
Awesome. Yeah, she also helps Rocky with A Night to Shine.
Yeah.
Rocky Good, and which is another awesome thing as well. So, Christy, happy birthday to you.
I think they had their first meeting about that, or it's coming up, one of the two.
And I'm sure they're going to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
too.
Night to Shine's great.
Yes,
and,
it is.
I got to participate in that last year and looking forward to going again. Ellen Berry, one of the librarians at the Deloge Library, celebrating a birthday on Saturday. Happy birthday to Ellen. Have you ever heard Lindsay Copeland sing? Oh, my gosh.
From Fleetwood Mac?
No.
Oh, wait a minute, that's Lindsey Buckingham.
Hey, he's okay. Lindsay Copeland is a great singer around the area. Finally got her in the Baby Boomers concert this year, and she did amazing. Happy birthday, Lindsay. Hope it's a great birthday for you on Saturday. Erin Beck, former teacher at Central, now at DeSoto. I believe she won like the Science Teacher of the Year a few years back. She does a great job She actually found some bear poop from the bear that came through Farmington.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
posted it on Facebook.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, just to prove. And she's like, hey, I'm a science teacher. This is okay. Happy birthday, Aaron, from Sophia, your daughter, and all your family. Corey Hulsey, a true Deloge legend, son of Hoghead Hulsey. Some people called him Hoghead as well. And, of course, I say Hoghead, the cat jumps back up here. Happy birthday, Corey. Hope it's a great day for you. And Mandy Serini celebrating a birthday on Saturday. And the cat has highlighted your name, Mandy, so congratulations there. What about Sunday? Do you got birthdays there?
Sunday, Susan Lindsay Schultz celebrating a birthday. She worked for a whole bunch of years at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. She is actually the person who actually started the Helping Hands organization that supports the Mental Health Center. So happy birthday to you, Susan. Hope you are doing well. Happy birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, Todd McKinney.
Skin Dog.
I didn't know that about Todd. Happy birthday, Skin Dog. I like that better. And just he's a preacher man now.
Yeah, retired educator, and he's going into schools. I see him pop in at the high school at Farmington a couple times a month.
Former football coach.
Yeah, former baseball coach too, man. And I've asked him, where did the name Skin Dog come from? And he's not really sure, but it was just an old Deloge thing, and we just had stupid nicknames for each other, and his was Skin Dog, and I understand that his daughter now is trying to rebrand herself as Skin Dog for some other. The cat muted your mic.
Yeah. Hey, Fleabag, you got to go. No, do not come down here.
Right into your lap. One other birthday I have.
Wait a minute.
Sunday.
Teresa Human. Celebrating
good
birthday. I can't leave Teresa out because she loves the podcast. So
awesome.
I got to say happy
Teresa.
birthday to Teresa as well.
And then Brad Thurston of Deloge celebrating. Brad probably had a silly nickname like that too, and I can't remember what his was.
Is he related to Donna Thurston?
Maybe.
Well, anyway,
Lyndall and oh my gosh, now her his mom's name escapes me. Anyways, but all right. Anyways, happy birthday, Brad. The cat has run amok.
This edition of Birthdays, brought to you by Parkland Pharmacy, has been the cat's meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Visit Parkland Pharmacy today. Want to talk about our newest sponsor on the Parkland podcast? That is Dan Ward. He is your senior healthcare service advisor for all of your insurance needs. Mark, you're kind of getting familiar with the Medicare system, and what Dan does is he helps you navigate. That can be a pretty tough process.
There are lots of different plans, lots of different options out there, and there's one that's just right for you, one that's best for you. That's what Dan can do. He can help you find that plan that best fits your needs, and there are a lot of changes when it comes to Medicare that are going into effect, and you definitely want somebody who knows what they're doing to guide you through that.
And some of these plans even have zero premiums, and veterans can qualify for a reduction in their Part B premiums. Dan also represents several major insurance companies in our area, and he is your Medicare advisor.
And he's also somebody you can trust. Dan spent a lot of years in the Missouri legislature. He worked with county government. He knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of things. He's somebody you can trust.
Well, all you have to do is give him a call and set up an appointment if you have any questions. 573-330-6000. That's 573-330-6000. Dan Ward, your senior healthcare services specialist.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Sports time here on the Parkland podcast. We begin with our Parkland Sports Live game of the week. The Festus Tigers, coming off their first loss of the season, coming to Farmington High School for senior night. And the Tigers come away with a 34-0 win. After the ball game, our Mike Reeves caught up with Farmington Knight head coach Erik Kruppe.
What do coaches take out of nights like that? Scoreboard says it wasn't a very good night. You take what from it, though?
Well, I like how our kids fought. I really do. You know, after the first quarter, which things went rolling bad, we had a couple turnovers, the onside kick. After that first quarter, I'm really proud of how our kids played. I really am. That Festus team is a really good football team. I mean, they played DeSmet even for 2.5 quarters. That's the best defense we're going to see all season. It just is, no matter who we play. And and I told Coach Toti-ly that that's a hell of a defense. Number one thing is our kids did fight. They played to the very end, and I'm proud of them for that. And, you know, we came in this game, we were missing some people. We also had a couple people play that weren't 100% either. And so, number one, get out of it as healthy as we were coming in, because if we did that, then we continue to get healthy over the course of next week, and then that springs us forward into the rivalry game next Friday.
From an opposing coach perspective, you said it would be the best defense you'll see. What makes them that? We see a lot of things that we believe make them tough. I love their athleticism along the line. They're quick. They get to the ball. Are all these the things you're seeing as an opposing coach too?
Yeah, I think their scheme's good, and they've got the personnel. They've got the personnel. You know, they just do. You know, I could single out one guy, or I could single out 7. They've got some dudes, and they do it well.
I want to ask you about this because at field level I get to see stuff that you don't always get to see. It's kind of a neat job to have. But when you force the fumble late, the scoreboard's out of control. I watched your reaction. I watched your coach's reaction. I saw the intensity. Is what brings that in a game that you say, well, the scoreboard doesn't matter, but what are you seeing from your kids at that moment that you're so excited about? Because it was obvious, and it was you and your entire coaching staff.
Well, just, you know, we talked to the kids, you know, as the game got later and later, you know, you look at the scoreboard and you know, the chances of victory do start to shrink. And so we just talk to kids, every drive is a victory. Every series is a victory. We get off the field this series, that's a victory. We get off the field the next series, that's a victory. Are we still playing hard? Are we still fighting? And the kids were doing that. They were, you know, back against the wall, but they're fighting. They're finding a way to get themselves off the field. You know, they're still playing hard. And if we can do those things, those are positives.
What is generally an approach to week 9 in a season that you know you're going to get a district game? The seedings will be what they'll be. It's a rivalry game, if you will. So is that what you take out of it?
Mike, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's Park Hill, and it means everything. And I'm just going to tell you that right now.
What have you seen from them so far this year? I know you guys have at least taken a peek ahead.
Well, you know, they've got the Jones kid. He's good on both sides of the football, you know. And they lose some of those explosive playmakers that they had last year, but they've still got good football players, and they're very well coached. And it's a rivalry game. You can play this week 1, week 5, week 9. It doesn't matter.
See you again in a week.
Yep, sounds good.
Again, Festus wins in our Parkland Sports Live game of the week, 34-0.
It was Dexter running past Central 35-12.
North County Raiders, another win, a 33-14 victory over St. Clair.
It was DeSoto over Potosi 20-13.
Fredericktown gets the offense going, and they outlast the Windsor Owls 41-38.
St. Genevieve beat Jefferson 42-21.
It was Valley Catholic over Bowling Green 42-20.
Hillsborough beat Chaminade. Hillsborough lost, I should say, to Chaminade in a shootout 62-35.
A lot of offense in that ball game. How about the MAAA Conference Volleyball Tournament? That was completed this past week.
It was St. Genevieve straight sets over Valley Catholic in the gold championship match.
The third place match was won by Farmington. They win in straight sets over Potosi.
And for fifth place, it was Central over Bismarck in 3 sets.
And congratulations to all of the all-conference volleyball players from around the area. Our final Parkland Sports Live high school football game of the week is coming up on Friday night. The Central Rebels will host the Farmington Knights. Coverage starting in the 6 o'clock hour on our YouTube channel, The Barn on YouTube, as well as the Parkland Podcast Facebook page. You can tune in for that football action as we will wrap up our coverage of the high school football season coming up Friday night. Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center is a proud sponsor of the Parkland podcast. They have been in our community since 1903, a long, long time, over 120 years. But I think the part that people maybe don't know about is this is a fantastic place to work, and they are still looking to fill a big position at their facility right now, Mark.
Yeah, they're looking for an advanced practice nurse to fill the position on their Southeast Regional Forensic Mobile Team. The position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available at a salary of $130,000 annually and tremendous benefits. The opening won't last long, so you definitely need to get your application in. All you have to do is apply with the Department of Mental Health by calling 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov.
The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees. Let's do some MAC sports now here on the Parkland podcast. We have the main authority when it comes to Mineral Area College sports and all things MAC, and that is our good friend, Jim Gerwitz. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
I'm
Thanks
doing
for coming
great.
in.
I'm doing great on this early Saturday morning.
Athletic director of the century right
No,
here.
Yeah.
no.
Right. How long have you been the AD now at MAC?
6 years, so I guess this would be 7 coming up. Yeah,
Yeah, but how long have you been at MAC?
26. I just finished 26, yeah.
Then does that count your time as a player here?
Oh, no, you got to add another year, and then 2 years as part-time assistant, so I guess I'm creeping up to 30 here pretty soon.
Yeah.
He's a MAC lifer.
I'm at 29. I am. I love this place. I am. I love MAC, and, I've never worked anywhere else that, really a real job besides, MAC, and I love it. I love every bit of it. I love going to work, and it's not a job if you love it, right?
Yeah.
What are all the positions you've held over the years?
Oh, boy.
You've had a few.
Assistant baseball coach, head baseball coach, criminal justice instructor, and now athletic director.
Hey, you're leaving out one of your more important jobs. You also are like a part-time janitor because I have seen you mop up messes on the basketball court a couple times.
Yeah, well, I've done that before too. That's okay. It's just part of it.
And I know you do a lot of officiating around, I guess, the high school. Do you do any college?
Nope, I just do high school basketball and high school baseball. So.
Okay.
I have to ask, who came up with the golf game at the basketball games? Because I saw a little kid almost make a full court putt, and he hit the side of the hole, and he missed by about that much. Who came up with that game? It's awesome.
Kevin Thurman is the innovator of that game. He definitely is the one that started that, and I guess we were just trying to see how we could get more people involved in the games, at halftime and things like that. So we have the shoot, the free throw shoot and all that stuff. Domino's Pizza, I guess halftime shootout, and then we have Hub's Pub and the Bullpen and Crown Point are the ones that do the golfing challenge. So
people stop what they're doing and they watch that stuff, man. They really do.
Yep. The Booster Club and Kevin Thurman, this thing is just taken off, and it's been great. We have those nice scoreboards now at the inside and then outside at the soccer field, and those are all paid for by Booster Club money. So I mean, it's been really, really successful.
I broadcast the games at MAC for about 8 years, and then I kind of went my own way, and I started coming back to the games the last couple of years. It's just the fan experience now is so much better than it was.
Yeah, we're just trying to get people involved and get people to come out and enjoy it. Even when, the teams aren't playing, at halftime, we got that 20 minutes. We're trying to do something to keep people's interest.
Let's talk about the bond issue and some of the improvements that were able to happen because of that athletically. The new softball field, boy, it looks so good. Talk about how nice that is now being able to have that on campus.
Yes, the girls definitely needed that. I mean, that was one of the sports that hasn't been on campus since the beginning of it started. And, just to have them on campus now in that beautiful facility. And now, I don't know if you've been down there lately, but there's also a little clubhouse building right there, right off the third base dugout. So, that's going to be really nice for those ladies to come out and, all their stuff is in one area. They'll have lockers in there. They'll have a restroom in there, a little cage area. So, yeah, it'll be all one beautiful facility when it's totally done. But, yeah, that field is amazing. It's probably, I would say it's the best junior college softball field in Missouri for sure, if not the country at this point. It's pretty nice.
And then and with that as well, lighting for Lowry Field and for the soccer field too.
Yeah, your namesake, right?
Yeah, right.
Lowry Field. That thing,
not named after me.
we finally have lights out there. That's beautiful. If you haven't been out there yet, and we'll definitely have a few games this spring under the lights. We were trying to get one in the fall with Jeffco, just a fall game, and then things didn't work out. Dates wouldn't work out, so we didn't get a chance to play that. But I know they had some practices when it was hot out there, under the lights, and soccer field has lights now too. That's a beautiful soccer facility. We're hoping at some point to have a locker room out there and permanent bathrooms out there at the soccer field. So that'll be the next project I hope that we get done.
Jim Gerwitz, you've added a lot of sports over the last 10 years at Mineral Area College. That offers up some great opportunities for kids to continue their athletic and academic careers, but it also helps promote the college and give some exposure to the college, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, I think we're at right below 300 athletes right now. So that's, we added JV baseball. I know we're thinking about doing a JV softball. We'll do that too. So, but also we might be adding women's golf. That's another one that we're thinking about doing. There's some great golfers in the area that, we'll give them that opportunity to play here at the college. It'd be great.
Talk about the fall sports in particular. How are things going for the teams in action right now?
Pretty good. Our cross-country teams, our women are ranked right now at 1 in the country. Wow. So they're ranked first. Our men are ranked 5th. So, and our men's soccer are ranked 13th. And then the volleyball team is up to 17th. So, our fall sports are doing pretty good at this point. And, Coach Davis can't say enough of what that guy does for our cross country. Those kids, they buy into his program, and you can tell every year they're always at the top of the podium or in the national meet. And, if they're not winning it, they're either second or third. So be great to see the women win their first national championship this year. Hopefully that gets done.
Yeah, we were joking before we went on the air. We're turning Mac into Titletown here.
I don't know about that yet, but we got some work to do. We got some work to do. We're trying. We are definitely trying.
We move on to winter sports. 2 big hires, 2 new head coaches for the men's and women's basketball programs.
Yeah, on the women's side, Briley left us, went down to SEMO, but her assistant, Carrie Shepard, is now our head coach. I think she's going to do great. I think they're going to be really good. We've been watching practice. They're quick. They run the ball well. We'll see. They play today down in Memphis, so they got 2 little scrimmages down in Memphis today. But I think they're going to be really, really good. She does a great job for us. The kids have bought into the program. And, she has a lot of returners from last year, so that they know how she is. Yeah. She's the one that did a lot of the individual work with the kids, so, all the girls love her. So it's going to be great. And then on the men's side, we got a big hire out of St. Louis, Tony Irons. The guy, you can't say enough about what he's done at the high school level. So we are anxious to see how he's going to do it at our level. He definitely wanted to get into the college ranks, and this is how he got his foot in the door here. And, definitely his kids I think they're going to be okay. He started a little late on recruiting. He didn't get the job till, I guess it was April, June, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
April, May, somewhere in there. But, they played several scrimmages already, and they played really good last weekend in Vincennes and won all their games. Tomorrow they go down to John A. Logan and play there for their little scrimmage there. But I asked him, I seen him in the hallway, and I said, "Hey, I heard you had a good weekend." He's like, "We're getting better. We're getting better." You know, he's like,
good.
He's
That sounds like a coach there.
That's right. He's like, "We're getting better," and I was like, "All right, well, it sounds like you're doing really well." He's like, "We got some things to work on, but we'll be there. We'll be okay."
So Briley, going back to Briley for a second, I know you were all sad to see her go,
Yes.
but it's also a good thing for the college to say a former MAC player, a MAC coach, now at a Division I school. That's got to bring some pretty good exposure to Mineral area.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, we definitely want that exposure. I mean, that's what our job is, Mark, is to move these coaches to, you know, they get an opportunity to get their feet wet here and then move on to bigger and better things, just like the kids. You know, the kids are, you know, come here, play 2 years at JUCO, and then end up going to a Division I or Division II school. I mean, we're developing coaches and players, I guess you can say that.
Yeah.
So, and Briley does a great job. I mean, she's gonna do really well down there. I think she'll be fine.
Let's look ahead to the spring sports season now. Again, another busy time for you. Talk about what's on the horizon there.
Well, we got baseball. Obviously, they're going to be okay. They're always in there, depending on injuries. That's how, our arms are the ones that have to sustain the the grind. Basically, you know, with 54 games, you gotta make it through the season just to get to the playoffs. So, I think they'll be okay. Softball, you'll see some good things. CJ Wright's doing a great job for us there as the right hire there for the area. The guy just eats and breathes softball.
Oh, yeah.
Loves it. And he's he's working, getting a lot of local kids that come play here. It's going to be pretty easy with that facility. You know, that's a big thing. That was one of the big things, you know, when the local kids were like, well, I really don't want to come to MAC. We have to play, you know, nothing against Park Hill Sports Complex.
Sure.
But they played there their whole career. You know, they played a lot of games at Park Hill Sports Complex or Farmington Sports Complex. And, you know, they needed that field on campus just so those kids can say, this is our field. You know, this is what we do here. And, you know, now with that field, you'll see a great improvement. I mean, they're going to be right there in the thick of things. And same way with, you know, baseball, golf has had a heck of a fall I guess practice they call it.
Right.
You know, they did compete, but our golf team, you know, Coach Mapes has done a great job with them. They'll be right in the thick of the things of winning the region and hopefully going to, the national championship. So a lot of local kids there on that, you know, St. John kids, North County kids, so Farmington kids. So that's pretty good to see.
I'm going to go back to basketball for just a second.
Sure,
It's just a couple of months away or less.
Yeah.
It's the big Rotary
2 weeks.
shootout.
2 weeks is the start of the season, November 1.
Well, I'm thinking of the Rotary shootout, and with the Rotary shootout comes the Hall of Fame announcements. And I've said this a bunch of times to you and others. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when you all get together and discuss nominees for the Hall of Fame and some of the stories? And I know you've been privy to some of these.
Yep.
Some of the stories you get to hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, guess you want to know who's going to go into the hall, huh? That's
Breaking news
we'll take it
here.
all right. Well, Arthur Agee is going to be here. So
all right.
The Hoop Dreams is coming back. He's going to be here. We got a couple of things planned throughout the week of that, and hopefully you guys can come over and see that. But
Absolutely.
He's planning on being here. This is the 30th year anniversary for that movie.
Oh my
Can you believe that? 30 years.
Wow.
For that. But yeah, so he's definitely going to be back. And then our the cross country team, I guess it was the 19 team that won the first national championship for the school. They're all going in.
Awesome.
So as a team. So
wow.
That is
are there
great.
going to be additional ones, or those are the two?
those are the two. We only do 2 a year. So that'll be, and then, you know, obviously there'll be more coming next year.
I got to give a quick shout out to my buddy Tom Ladd, former Mineral Area College announcer.
Yeah.
He was actually interviewed by the producers of
Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams, and he says, all my stuff got left on the cutting room floor. He didn't make the cut.
Well, you know, Coach Gray was in that movie.
Oh,
You
yeah,
see
his
him and
mustache.
I know, with that mustache.
Oh, man.
He said that kind of helped pay for the team's trips to San Diego for
Yeah.
a couple of years. So.
Jason Samples was briefly in that movie, walking through the foyer there at Mac. I remember seeing Laura Elam in that movie too.
I gotta go look again.
Did you get any? I know there was like a Roy scene, like a quick. You could see Roy kind of in the background.
I was not there. I didn't come to Mac until the year after that.
Oh,
So, yeah.
you just missed it.
Yes.
Dang it. I want to ask you about a story before we hop off of here. I want to say it was a Region 16 tournament, and there was a really bad storm. It was on Mother's Day, and a really bad storm just kind of came out of nowhere and snuck up on us. And I remember the tornado sirens going off. I ran down from the crow's nest, and I think it was you and Coach Komar down there on the field. And Komar was like, "What do we do? What do we do? I want to play. I want to get all these games in, you know."
Yep.
And so I was like, "Well, I don't know. I can't really." You didn't have radars on our phones back then. And then I remember trying to get that tarp on the field. Tell us about that experience for you that day.
Oh goodness, yeah, I remember that. We were trying to get that tarp on the field, and I think that was when that tornado, I think, was north of us, because we were at Wilson-Rozier. I think it was like Deloge area.
Yeah.
And but the wind was crazy, and it was just, the rain was sideways. I remember there was nothing we could do. I mean, we tried to get that tarp on, and there was just nothing we could do. It was, the wind is just, I've fought with tarps my whole career, and they beat you up. There's a story, at Mac, when we were trying to put the tarp on, and it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm standing on it. The guys are trying to get it out, and it just, here comes this bubble, throws me off of it, land on my shoulder. It's those tarps can be a little crazy at times, especially when the wind's blowing.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, this storm just literally came over
nowhere.
the right field wall.
Yep.
And I remember too, I can't remember who Mac was playing that day, but I remember there were guys' gloves all over the field, and I mean, it was just a mess.
Yep, I was trying to get a small tarp on the pitcher's mound.
Right,
that was the one of them, and it just couldn't. I mean, by the time I got out there with the little tarp, it was already soaking wet. I mean, it was like a deluge of water. It was crazy. Yep, I remember that. It was crazy.
The things you see working in athletics over the years. Anything else come to mind? Crazy, weird things that happen like that to you?
I bet you if we sat here and thought there would be stories, we could write a book for all the stories of things that happen. And it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of things that happen that you're like, oh, everybody says, oh, that's JUCO, that's JUCO. They think that's a bad thing, but kids are coming out of high school. They're not ready for those big 4-year schools, and we kind of mold them into that, and then they move on. So that's what junior college is about.
Yeah, and all these little things add character.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Very cool. Anything else going on Mac athletic wise that we need to find out about before we let
we
you
have
go?
soccer today. Women play tonight at 6:00 under the lights. If anybody wants to come out, we have one game, soccer, and then, like I said, we have a couple scrimmages. The women are scrimmaging down in Memphis today, the women's basketball, and then the men are at John A. Logan tomorrow. So.
Is there a Midnight Madness kind of thing?
No, we don't.
This year?
We kind of don't do that anymore because they changed the rules, and they can practice, certain hours a week. So we really don't do that. But it'll be interesting when our first games, and like I said, the Rotary Shootout's going to be a huge hit. We always have some good high school games that we have out there. I know. I don't have the list with me, but I don't want to misspeak and tell you who's playing and who's not playing. But I know the final game of the night, we're actually going to put the men's and the women's games in the middle of the day at the Rotary Shootout. We're going to try something different.
Okay.
So we'll have 2 high school games, the women, the men, and then there's 3 high school games afterwards. So
okay.
I know South Iron's going to be there. St. Pius is going to be there. Our Farmington's going to be the last game. The Farmington boys will play Saxony Lutheran. They're going to play them on the 8:00 game. And then we'll also, I know Central Girls will be there. They're going to be playing St. Pius also. So
great. That'll be a good matchup there, too.
Yeah. So it'll be good. It's always a good day. And,
Yeah.
I hope people come out and support the Rotary, and that's one of their biggest fundraisers.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Any chance maybe? I know back in the early years of the shootout, there was always like they'd get two big like Class 4, Class 5 Missouri's teams and like have them battle it out. Any chance of maybe bringing that back?
We might be able to do that. Yeah. I mean, I definitely would be interested in doing that. I mean, we definitely get somebody from St. Louis and maybe down south and
yeah,
like
meet right in the middle.
Charleston.
Yeah.
Yep.
Charleston Chaminade. There you go. That's what you're doing.
We got to end with Vashon now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Get his team down.
We got connections.
That's right. That's right.
Very cool, man. We could sit and talk sports all day with you, buddy. Appreciate your time.
Hey, I
man.
appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys are doing your thing here, even though the radio station, that deal is gone. But we're not going to talk about that.
We leave that one alone.
No, we talk about it all the time, actually.
But I love you guys. This is a great deal, and this is fun. I mean, I'd come over here anytime you want me to. I appreciate you asking me.
Hey, no problem.
We'll take them up on that.
Yeah, what are you doing next Saturday?
Yeah.
Next Saturday, I don't know. Let's see. I have to look at my calendar.
Awesome. Jim Gerwitz, Athletic Director, Mineral Area College, our guest right here on the Parkland Podcast. Heimberger Construction, heimbergerconstruction.com. Since 1978, they've been putting together fantastic buildings around the parkland. You can see them, and they have a secret weapon when it comes to their buildings, and a fine organization that helps there.
Well, one of their secret weapons is Jennifer herself.
Right, yes.
She is awesome and amazing, but they also specialize in Butler buildings. They are the best metal building systems on the market, the only buildings that have a pre-punched roof system and standard 360-degree roof seam for their standing seam roof. And I am sure if you travel around the area, you're going to see a Heimberger-built building.
Mocap in Park Hills and Farmington, Griffin Automotive in Bonne Terre, Legacy Products in Bonne Terre, Paramount Glass, the expansion in Park Hills, Crown Valley Winery, just to name a few. Their website's beautiful, heimbergerconstruction.com. Give Jenny a call today, 431-4387.
Good people to work with.
Save-A-Lots of the Parkland. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And in addition to saving you money on your grocery bill, which we all need right now, they got a really cool promotion that they just started.
It's on their Facebook page. They are introducing Save-A-Lot Rewards. Download the new app to earn dots and save lots at participating locations. And there are all kinds of reasons to go to the Save-A-Lot Facebook page. I am on it right now, as a matter of fact. They invite you to stop by, check it out, and save on every day that ends in Y.
Oh, wow. I think that's every day.
That is every day. Shop the dot with Save-A-Lot.
I love going to Save-A-Lot and checking out all the unique grocery items they have there. And the 5 for $24.99. Been trying to mix it up a little bit, but I always come back to the popcorn chicken and the chicken fries. I think my kids could eat that any day of the week that ends in Y. But I always am able to save money at my local Save-A-Lot store. And you can too. They're in Bonne Terre, DeSoto, Potosi, Park Hills, and Farmington. And they sponsor the Parkland Podcast.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the North County School District, and we have their new superintendent joining us here at the barn today, Dr. Brandon Gregory. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday morning with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. It's as Mark probably knows, he used to get me a lot later in the morning, so I'm probably not quite as spry as I normally would be, especially on a Saturday morning.
You were properly caffeinated by then.
Exactly. I didn't have time to grab a coffee this morning, so you're getting the real deal this morning.
Wow, very good. Well, let's start off. You took over officially as the superintendent over the summer. The decision was made early on. You had a chance to work with Katie Bachman and really get a good preview of what the duties include. How's it going for you?
I mean, everything I think is going pretty well. I mean, anytime there's a transition, there's going to be some hiccups or some changes. I'm a firm believer when you come in, you don't make a lot of wholesale changes right off the bat. Whether I went into a building, whether I went into teaching in a new classroom when I was a teacher, you go in, you give it a couple of years for things to kind of breathe. You look at, if you see some things that need immediate change, you make them. But other than that, you kind of feel it out and go, we can improve here, we can improve here, we can move this around. And you're always looking for ways to improve, but you don't want to come in and say, we're changing everything, because that's a good way to set everything off on a bad note. But we were talking a little bit beforehand, it's been a stressful thing for me because I'm a perfectionist, but I'll be honest with you, I've loved every second of it, and I think it's going pretty well. And I've got a lot of positive feedback, and I've got other feedback too. And I'm going to tell you, I'm that kind of guy. I'd rather know if I'm doing something wrong or you don't agree with something than to just sit back kind of in the background and not fill me in. So, that's just now that may be a curse on my end, but it tends to make me, I think I do a better job when I know exactly kind of what people are expecting and what's going on. So, but I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been a good year so far. So,
well, between all the fall sports and homecoming, it's been a busy start to the school year.
Yeah, it has. So, we just last week we had our homecoming parade, had our homecoming football game, homecoming court, of course. Everything went well. I definitely want to thank Chris Brewer, our new AD. He actually stepped in to replace Jimmy this past year. Chris definitely came in kind of last minute, but he is phenomenal job. I mean, just a wonderful job there taking care of that. Chelsea Crocker, his assistant AD, is amazing. The high school admin, the high school staff, teachers, honestly, teachers and staff across the district are what make it happen. And I just appreciate all the hard work they went into that. And we got a win that night, too, so that's always a good thing.
An exciting win.
Exactly.
Yeah, it came down to the wire. Some honors student-wise. Let's talk about this tennis team. They are on a pretty impressive run here lately.
Yeah, they are. They went in, and so I may have some of the details wrong here, so if I'm incorrect, people can always, contact you guys and correct me. But we actually placed first at districts down in Kennett this past week, and I believe we're headed on to state. I'm not sure the details of who's competing team-wise, individual events. That stuff I haven't got all that information on. But what I will tell you is Kennett had moved into our districts, and I believe if I've been told correctly, they were the state champs last year. So we came in. Which, I'll have a meeting here in a few weeks with the Southeast area superintendents, and the gentleman from Kennett, wonderful guy, was talking about how great their tennis program was. I can't wait to see him again and go, hey, how about those Raiders? So you got to get the digs in, whenever you get the chance. But no, I'm really proud of the ladies, proud of our coaches. I mean, it's They've been a juggernaut for a few years. They've been a phenomenal team, and I'm really proud of their accomplishments.
Another honor going out to one of your employees, Katie Lotes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Katie Lotes she's a process coordinator at Parkside, or I apologize. I've still got Parkside in my brain. That's where I spent 9 of my years. She's actually a process coordinator at the primary building, pre-K through 2, actually. And this year, MoCase, which is their state organization, like their professional organization, had their inaugural process coordinator of the year job or award. And if you're not familiar, process coordinators are kind of semi-administrators that oversee IEP, special education, programming within a building. And a lot of paperwork, a lot of stress, a lot of parent outreach. I mean, it takes a special person to do it. They work tirelessly. I mean, they're probably some of the hardest working people in the district. And Katie actually received the state award, the very first state award for the MoCase Process Coordinator of the Year. I mean, number one, it's the first time it's ever been given. It was given to one of our staff, but, I'm glad that she's getting the recognition she deserves. She has always been a phenomenal staff member, and I'm glad she's finally got some of that recognition, not just from us, but from statewide. So,
Brandon, I'm on the United Way of St. Francis County Board of Directors. Wanted to thank your district, North County District. You donated some money through a couple of your different schools to the United Way of St. Francis County, and we're not the only organization that benefited from your fundraising efforts.
Yeah. We always try to bring a representative from United Way at the beginning of every year to let people know they can do the donations. What we found is sometimes we get better response if we do some of our monthly fundraisers. And so that's kind of what some of our schools did, what our central office did for United Way. But past couple of weeks, Parkside has been doing their American Heart Association fundraiser, and they have been a big supporter in that building for years. I mean, started way back when Nicole Galzinski was there. Rodney St. Jim picked it up when he became the PE teacher. And so it's grown over the years. And I mean, it has really grown. Like last year, they raised around $5,800 over a week. This past week, they raised $11,000. So they almost doubled their biggest fundraising event ever. And, American Heart Association came in over the summer to recognize Rodney and Parkside and the kids there, saying that they are like one of the top donors in this whole area, in this region. So Parkside really takes that seriously. We appreciate the kids and the parents and the staff there making that happen. And then, coming up here in a few months, and I'm sure you'll hear about it, we'll all hear about it, St. Francis County Community Partnership. They've already started doing some fundraising for the Season of Hope project, but that'll really start hitting heavy here in the next couple of months. It goes locally. Every dime that's spent goes to support families and provide, them opportunities for things at Christmas, gifts and stuff like that. So I always encourage everybody. I spent a long time on that board before when I took this position, I just didn't have the time to continue on with it.
Sure.
Really breaks my heart because it's one of my favorite things I ever did. So.
That's a family affair for you. Your wife was big into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was district social worker and before she went into counseling. And so that was really something that she dealt directly with it. Back in that day, she was packing the bags with the gifts and she was fundraising, getting them out. I remember having to deliver to people that couldn't get out and get the stuff. I mean, it was always a big deal. So whenever she left partnership, she's like, I need somebody to take over. So she volunteered me and they called me. I was like, all right, sure, I'll be there. Let's do this. But that program is always going to have a big place in my heart. And I definitely always encourage people to donate and be a part of that. So.
Dr. Brandon Gregory is our guest. He's the superintendent of schools for the North County School District. This entire start of the school year, not just at North County, but everywhere, there's been increased focus on school safety with a lot more threats going out. Sometimes, therefore, North County and North Callaway County, California, are somewhere off track. And at the same time, too, we're dealing with kids' brains, which don't always think about things before they say things or do things. So I would assume that's got to be one of the most challenging things as a superintendent, is to try to deal with school safety, keep the transparency, and ultimately keep everybody safe.
Yeah, and it is. And I mean, it'll sound cliche. I mean, you work in a school. We always talk about our first job, number one, is to provide a safe learning environment for kids. And safety should be number one because people give us their most precious thing to take care of on a daily basis. And, I think if you'd asked my grandma back in the day, sometimes she'd go, you can just take him and keep him.
Right. Yeah,
but, but it's the most important thing we do. And truthfully, a lot of the feedback we've gotten from like state organizations that look at school safety and stuff like that is you have to take everything seriously. Mm-hmm. You've got to look at it and go, okay, this is serious till the investigation, the information shows you it isn't. You have to be able to verify what's going on. And to be honest with you, what sometimes happens when you're dealing with social media, like you said, it'll get out there and then somebody will report it and it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead, since it's like 7 at night, we'll have to put something out and let them know. We've got to open that communication up. But then when you get to digging in it, you're like, this was Pennsylvania, this was West Virginia. This was, in some cases, this is a kid that said something, but what was their intent of it?
Right.
And that's the deal, so there's a lot of information that goes into it. We're lucky, we've got a couple of SROs in our district that are hard workers. You got Jaco, you got Romine. They're both amazing law enforcement officers. We're lucky to have, Deloge and Bonne Terre PD, they will be there on site 10 seconds if we need anything. Mm-hmm. They're constantly in and out of the buildings, just walking, just checking. The county is like that. St. Francis County Sheriff's Department, they've got officers that walk our buildings to come in, just check. And really, I like that because kids just see, okay, you got law enforcement here. And they've become accustomed to that. And that's good. That's good for them too, because I've had a couple officers tell me, it's like, we like to be able to get out here, talk to kids, see kids, because we don't want the only time they see us to be in a a negative light, whether, dealing with something, with their family, with school, with, something like that. So, but that's the deal. You got to take every threat seriously. You have to investigate it. You got to verify what you got. And then you find out if someone's made a mistake or they've done something, if they've went out and they've made a threat and you can prove that information, then you as a district have to follow your policy procedure and you got to discipline. And, sometimes kids will say something and they don't mean it.
Right.
You still got to address it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want any kids to be in trouble. Trust me. We were all teenagers at one time. We've all said and done, I'm just going to say it. I will say this. We've all made dumb decisions.
Yes.
And I always try to say this, there are no bad kids, there are bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that because we've all made them. And I just always hope that, any kids that are involved in some of the comments, even there were no malicious intent, but they're just thinking, oh, this is going to be funny if I say this. I just hope they learn from that experience and go, okay, I don't need to do that. And I hope that other kids also see that and go, yeah, I need to just pipe down and not say those kind of things. So, but I mean, it is serious and it's not like you said, it's not just us, it's this area, it's the state.
Yeah.
It was all over
country.
the place, the whole country. And, we experienced something like that in the earlier 2000s with bomb threats. Mm-hmm. That's when I first started teaching. And down in the Boot Hill where I started teaching at, you were getting kids that were doing that stuff, kind of similar to what they were doing at the beginning of the year. So, but
any construction work going on in the district?
We actually wrapped up. We had about a 3-year list of capital projects with our Project S safety, a lot of it focused on student safety. Actually, the Project S bond issue, and did a lot of HVAC improvements, did a lot of improvements at the middle school, just all across the district. There were just a lot of, smaller wholesale improvements. We did a lot of safety stuff. We re-engineered all of our entryways to all the buildings. We put in, different types of glass. We put in different types of entry doors. We put in different access, like key card accesses. We've got, different there's just a lot more. We put a lot more design into how those buildings were set up and how you would access those buildings, which was honestly probably one of the things that we needed to do. Mm-hmm. Working at Parkside, loved the building, one of the newest buildings in the district. You had a big glass window there when you first came in. And so we kind of re-engineered that where you've got a brick wall, you have a door that actually comes in. Everything is like, you still have access to everybody you need to have access to, but it's a lot safer for those people that are in that office. But it also allows you to, as the administrator and as the secretarial staff in that building, to limit the access, which, it's turned out really, really great. Every building is very happy with how things are set up. And, we'll continue. I think we were talking beforehand that, this bond issue, all the projects are wrapped up, but we're looking at, in a few years, probably looking to do some major upgrades on the middle school. We've still got some HVAC improvements we've got to do. There's some lighting stuff that, Dr. Long has brought up to me at the high school and the auditorium that needs to be kind of updated and changed around. So, you're always looking at where can we improve, just like you do with instruction, just like you do with anything else you do. But you're also looking at where can I improve, keep my facilities, make them better, make them safe, and make them match the needs of what we need for our students now. So.
Just a couple of quick things. First and foremost, your first few official weeks on the job, did you have Katie's number on speed dial?
Oh, yeah. She joked with me. First, she's like, $50 an hour. And then she's like, 70. And then it became 75. And I was like, you keep getting higher all the time. So now it's like what I try to do is, she's a big Mizzou football fan, because Mizzou, we've had some ups and downs this year. I watched Mizzou. Yeah. Now she hassles me because I've got a kind of side thing with the Texas Longhorns. I always kind of have. They're sitting at number 1 right now. Now, I wasn't allowed to express that around her when she was there. But now that she's gone, I can wear a little burnt orange every once in a while and not get in trouble. But I've always been a big Mizzou fan. Growing up in Missouri, you got to be. And so that's what we do is we'll chat back. We'll kind of joke. We'll talk about the game, on Saturdays, things like that. And every once in a while, I'll try to sneak a question in. It's like, you going to charge me for that, So, but no, she's been great to still continue to help me after the fact if I needed it, and I appreciate that. So. And
I also have to know, I won't ask you who the better educator is, but who knows more about music, you or Chad Lynn?
if you're talking pure like factual knowledge, I'm going to say probably Chad Lynn. That man can utter off some stuff that I have never heard of before, and he makes fun of me. He's a big Beatles guy. I think I know about 3 Beatles songs, and he'll rattle off stuff. I'll go hang out with him. He'll be firing stuff off, on his radio. But that guy has a wealth of musical knowledge. Now, if you're talking about the person who's a better musician, I'm going to say me.
Absolutely.
That's just how I look at it. So, but he's a guitar player. I'm a bass player. So people judge us differently anyway. So that's how it is. So.
Very good. We appreciate you coming in this morning, spending some time with us. And again, like I told you before the interview started, I've heard good things, and North County people are very open with what they tell me.
Yeah.
So,
and I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? And when you've been there for 20 years like me, they're open with me too. So, and I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. So.
Very good. Thanks again for coming in.
Hey, no problem.
All right, that's Dr. Brandon Gregory, Superintendent of Schools for the North County School District, our guest on the Parkland Podcast. Discover Farmington is more than you ever imagined. Their website is discoverfarmingtonmo.gov, and that is a great source of events, different things happening in the area. You're going to be involved in one of these events. What are you doing for Discover Farmington?
Yeah, they're going to have the 100th anniversary of Long Memorial Hall coming up at the end of this month, and they've got a number of people from throughout the community that will be portraying voices from the past, people who have had a history in Farmington. And I'm Howard Long, who Long Memorial Hall is named after.
Yeah, very,
My nickname is Doobie.
Doobie. That do be cool. Also, they have the big Roaring 20s celebration. That's a little bit sooner on Saturday, October 19th at Long Memorial Hall. Tickets still remain for that. And I know they're also sponsoring the most spectacular TV theme song concert event ever in the history of the world/universe on Saturday, October 26th at the Centene Center. And again, go to the website, Discover Farmington, find out about all the neat things happening around the area and all the unique events and businesses we have here. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com, more than you've ever imagined.
Hi, Kristen.
Music calms the savage beast. It has calmed these savage beasts for many, many years. It's time for our music segment here on the Parkland Podcast. This is where we pick out a song we like, we pick out an album we like, and we talk about how cool they are. Mark Toti, what is your song of the week?
I have 2 because I couldn't decide between just one. One I heard on the way out here, and I forgot how much I liked it. Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way. Bow, 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 bow.
Did my song come on right after that? Because I think we were listening to the same station.
Quite possibly. I pulled in, but I like your song a lot too that you're going to get to. But Rocky Mountain Way, Joe Walsh, great guitar player. Totally remade the Eagles when he joined the group, gave them a real rock and roll edge. But Rocky Mountain Way is a fantastic song. And the other song that I had picked out that I heard a couple of days ago and I hadn't heard in forever is a song called Never Met a Dog by a group called Vinegar Joe.
Oh, yeah.
They were an English band, and they didn't last too long.
No, I think that was their only hit, wasn't it?
One of 2, maybe. But the big thing about Vinegar Joe, in addition to Never Met a Dog being a great song, if the voice sounds familiar, it's because the lead singer was a very young Robert Palmer.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I thought that was pretty cool. I loved that tune, and I kept thinking it was Robert Palmer, but it was Vinegar Joe. But it was Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
So, but my album of the day, one of my favorite live bands, live albums, Michael Stanley Band. This is called Stage Pass. Michael Stanley Band had some really, really great tunes back in the 70s and early 80s. One of them is Let's Get the Show on the Road, Babe. And I don't know if that is my favorite Michael Stanley Band song of all time or Rosewood Bitters.
That's what I was going to say.
I love that song too. They're both on this album. When he does Rosewood Bitters, he says, this song's special to me. It's the first song from the first side of the first Michael Stanley Band album. So there you go. If you want to hear some good Michael Stanley Band, they're a good Cleveland, Ohio group, you can check out Stage Pass. It's a great live album.
I'm going to go with my song for the song that I heard after I heard Rocky Mountain Way this morning. I guess we need to give a shout out again to Randy Raley.
Yeah, Randy, buddy.
He's doing such a great job with his rock and roll morning show. Got that station sounded awesome. But anyways, The Boxer by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. And I just think this song is one of the best of all time, not only musically, but lyrically, how good this song is, the harmonies. A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest is one of the best lines, I think, in rock and roll history, because that's so true. And just such a great tune from Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. They broke up because Art wanted to be a movie star, and Paul wasn't ready to be a movie star yet.
And that didn't work out so well for Art.
Yeah. But they still, I mean, you get those guys together, they start singing, wow, unbelievable how cool that is. And then borrowing another one of your albums this week.
At least it's a good one.
This is a great one. Mountain Twin Peaks, that's their live album, and this was recorded in Japan in February of 1974, and hence the Japanese artwork on the cover. And great rock and roll album. Again, Mountain known for being a fantastic live band. And they got the Nantucket Sleigh Ride, which was always one of my favorite long tunes to play back in the day. Mississippi Queen is the one that I think folks know the best, which has one of the best cowbell sequences in rock and roll history. And Roll Over Beethoven, they throw that in there as well.
And Never in My Life is another great song on that album as well. Definitely something to worth listening to. And you talk about Nantucket Sleigh Ride being a long song.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes long.
It is.
With a huge long drum solo.
Yeah. It was. I always did on Thanksgiving Day. I would do the longest songs in rock and roll history morning show, and that was definitely one of the tunes that was in rotation.
That and Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah, Alice's Restaurant. I always had to play that at 9 a.m. And then I always did the entire Thick as a Brick side A and side B, and that was 43 minutes.
Hotel.
Oh, man, some great stuff. So that is your music segment here on the Parkland
Rock on,
podcast.
dudes.
Rock on, baby. Let's look ahead to episode 21. We'll be old enough to go to buy a drink, I guess. The Parkland podcast will be that old next week.
Yes, well, some of us will. Our executive producer, Morgan, still won't be.
No, that's okay.
One day we'll get her on the podcast.
I know, we need to do that. We keep talking about it. One of these days we'll have like people cancel and then we'll just slide her in. Where it's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Who's coming up on the next show?
Well, we've got Vicky Wisnowski that's going to be joining us. Vicky has one of the more unique homes in Farmington, always decorated up, but she really goes the extra mile for Halloween. So we're going to spotlight that on the next Parkland podcast. We hope to have Suzanne Baker, the new executive director of the United Way of St. Francis County, joining us. And if it all works out, Ginger Pizarro is going to be along with us as well to talk about the big Veterans Parade.
All that and more coming up on the next episode of the Parkland podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, to download, to share, tell your friends, tell your enemies.
Tell your friends' enemies.
Yes, Parkland podcast will be coming your way next week. Have a great week, and thank you so much.
Peace.